Hello, everyone, and welcome to Osquery Office Hours. It's right about the end of February. It's warm in Boston for February. Maybe nice where other people are, but welcome. Let's see. First section, announcements. I guess I've got an announcement. For those of you that did not see it on Slack, Collide has been acquired. So I no longer work for Collide. I now work for 1Password. But I do not expect my Osquery involvement to change. So that was my announcement.
Congrats. It's a great acquisition and a cool company.
There's
And
certainly a lot of
interestingly
values
enough,
alignment.
yeah, for sure. And interestingly enough, there's a bunch of people who were like Facebook security and engineering leadership at the time that Osquery was created, who are at 1Password now.
Yes, there are. I think Pedro and Bream are both both familiar.
Yep. Yeah, very cool. Well, glad you won't be going anywhere, Seth.
Not yet. Can't get rid of me yet. Yeah. Other announcements? Okay. Next section is sort of a questions, issues, PRs, bit of an open section for things people want to discuss. Y'all kind of look like regulars, so I'm not sure we need it, but it's here today. Okay. Agenda. The only agenda item I have is a 5.12 release because we kind of want to target, the next day or so. There are a bunch of PRs that I've kind of reviewed and approved, but maybe some other people should eyeball them and merge them. I'm never super confident in my C code.
Which one, Seth?
You just look at any of the ones I've approved.
Okay.
Like the most recent 10-ish PRs or something.
Okay, so just go through any approved ones and then have another look and then
and just merge them if they look okay to you.
Okay,
I'm feeling real casual.
I should be able to do that today or tomorrow.
Okay. Anything people want to call out as maybe like a non-trivial review or something that we should think a little harder about?
So I'd really like to get my Windows battery table PR in. Victor from our team gave that a review already, but he's not a committer, and so his review won't count. There's a couple of pieces of feedback from his review that I'll be addressing today.
I eyeballed it and it looked like you hadn't addressed his feedback, so I didn't look any harder. If you tag me, I'll review it tonight or tomorrow after you address that.
Thank you. Cool. Yeah, thank you. I mean, honestly, the biggest challenge with kind of anything on the Windows side is like when reading the PRs, knowing which functions and handles and that kind of stuff need to have close or free or that kind of thing called, and they're not super consistent in the docs. But I did in this case, I think, do everything that they expect.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what happens if you free something that doesn't need freeing.
It's a good question.
Because like I kind of assume
it may depend on which free function you use, because there's like local free I've seen a lot in Windows, but there's also other stuff.
I don't know right away, but definitely it's a mix of either corruption or crash. But I I think that the function may attempt to detect if you are passing it a pointer that's outside of what the heap they are handling. But yeah, let's file it as not something fun. Beyond,
Well,
yeah.
Well, where I was going is if it would crash or panic, then you could always try it first. But if it has a slow corruption, that wouldn't work.
I wouldn't. Yeah, no. With C and C++, I wouldn't reason like that. I would be precise. Maybe the only and the other thing that I don't remember too is which one supports nulls and which one does not. Because
Yeah. So what I did in this case, which maybe we can discuss whether we think this is a good approach, but luckily there was some Microsoft example code that was fairly close to what I needed to do. So I took that code and basically, there are some things that need to be changed to more Osquery coding style. In particular, where the Microsoft code used like insanely nested ifs, like 12 levels deep or something, I unnested everything, and I also switched to using the scope guard for the freeze and the other related deallocations, and and then changed everything else to suit, and also like looked at the docs for all of the Windows API calls to try to see if there's anything that the Microsoft example could have missed. While in that process, I also discovered that Bing search has ChatGPT basically built into it. And when you ask it for that example, it happily gives you code that mostly looks good, but has none of the deallocations in it.
for sure.
Quality.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you, Seth. I'll tag you when I get the changes up there.
Okay. Eyeballing things, I do see 3 slightly more substantial PRs that are maybe worth reviewing. That, I mean, I guess they're not super substantial. I just didn't feel like I could review them quickly. There is 8233, which is shifting how ATC table names work in the initialization.
Yeah, there's something weird going on. So I sort of trust. I haven't tested. Obviously, the fix works, but I tried to understand internally why it happens that we are calling, because I do see the registration being called 2 times, and I'm not super following why.
Do you think this code is worth merging as is, or do you want to dig into it a little more?
I mean, like at most it would still not work, or let me see it again. Don't add until after. So the issue is, let me remind. Sorry, I forgot what was. Where the first, so only the first ATC table gets this issue. Yeah, I don't see any bad potential side effect beyond something else in the ATC tables doesn't work. So, but yeah, for the future, for the future, there is something to look into around registration. But yeah.
So it sounds like you think this is worth merging.
yeah, maybe I haven't tested it. If yeah, I'll try to just double check that all the tables gets registered, meaning all the ATC tables gets registered, but otherwise, yes.
I mean, I would just approve it and merge it then.
Well,
It looks good to me as well. I think I also looked at that PR and was like, oh God, I don't understand why this fixes the issue, and then was like, oh, take my hands off. But it sounds like we're all a bit doing that, so maybe we should just accept it and move on. If no one actually has the time to dedicate.
I kind of, yeah, I know that there's a place where it does that second registration run. If that table is already present in a certain list, then it won't try to add it again. But why is doing that? I'm not sure.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the second registration run is simply to work around this bug. Like it wasn't getting registered, so someone said, I'll just try it again.
Well, I mean, okay, could be, but hope that in such a core place, maybe a bit more.
I mean,
Anyway,
I've seen a lot of software that does that.
I mean, without digging into the code, is it possible that like the tables add call like does the registry call if there's not like if it hasn't happened already? So when you move the registry call like to beforehand,
yes,
then you get it happens, then it doesn't happen in add, and then like before it would always happen afterwards because there's like the explicit call to it, but now maybe it doesn't.
yes, that's what I was mentioning. There's a point where it just goes again through all the tables to register, and it includes also the ATC ones. Maybe that specific point is incorrect in the sense that maybe it shouldn't have picked up the ATC ones, but just the built-in ones, or and yeah, but that's I don't know, that's also weird because yeah, I forgot that because if the registration is also creating the table, that's not necessary because all of our tables are eponymous, and so they are auto registering. As soon as you create the module for them for each of the table, they auto register. You don't need to run additional SQL to say this table exists. Anyway, I think probably that second run is to register all internal tables, but it's also picking up the ATC ones again, or at least it's using the full list and then removing the ones that are already registered. So if you register it before doing that call, then that ATC table will be, or all ATC table will be removed from the global list, and they won't be attempted to be registered again. But yeah, anyway, seems, yeah, we can try. Seems okay. Again, would be interesting to understand why and what more specifically is happening there. But yeah.
Okay, I think I just approved it with that caveat. E.g., we have no idea, but whatever, this code is fine.
Does anyone know Julia Cox?
We seem to get a reasonable stream of PRs from her. Like PRs cool. And issues. Not like a lot, but like there's a trickle. So I'm starting to recognize her name just from the Osquery PRs.
Oh, yeah, I don't immediately find her on LinkedIn, so I'm just kind of curious who she is and who she's working for. Oh, I wonder if it's this staff software engineer at Coveware. Okay, anyway, I'll investigate. I know people over at Kovar, so I can ask them.
Do they work with Osquery?
I can't comment.
Fair enough. Miss Cat, what do you want? I'm in a meeting, Miss Cat. Do you want to join the meeting? Look, that's the meeting. See? People. Yeah,
Hello.
you're not interested in those people. I know. Next, slightly non-trivial PR. We don't have other agenda. I'll just sit here and do these. 8202, process file events to detect new files after startup configure, from Lucas, who I think is at Fleet, right? Oh, yes. And Stefano, you reviewed this in December.
So which one was this?
8202.
Oh, yeah. Didn't when we last discussed this, did we decide that like we don't want to try to make any improvements to this table without sort of redoing the whole thing? Or I think I wasn't here for that discussion.
I don't think.
Maybe. Sorry, go on.
No, I don't think there hasn't been any decision. Mostly me warning about doing work on something that we know is broken, and even so I'm not sure if it ever worked as it should have, basically. But and beyond that, I haven't seen or received any update about what was the intention then.
My
yeah.
understanding is that this is no longer a priority for us. So if there's general like discomfort with merging this, I think that we just close the PR.
Yeah, I would say again, Aziz doesn't. It already has performance issue that basically block it from working correctly in most workflows or environments, and adding the additional logic to do post filtering like that likely worsen things. And yeah, there are more core issues that have to be solved before I think doing other fixes.
Okay, so it sounds like we're not sure, and Zach, you don't want to push for this, so we should just close it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm writing a note, and then I will close it.
Okay, thank you, Seth.
Next up, 8182, which is an update to Linux blocks device and disk encryption. This is from Micah, who's over at Collide. Basically, this moves it from iterating using udev to sort of traversing the file system, often like sys something or other. I don't quite know enough Linux, so I would rather someone else reviewed this. But the motivation for this is that we can't meaningfully use query context and block devices when we're in udev, because udev, you have to traverse from the parent down. So if you get handed a child, you can't just fetch the child information. So the motivation is to improve performance on the table when using a constraint.
It's so currently we believe that the behavior is correct but inefficient.
Correct. And that becomes particularly problematic if you have either a lot of devices or cloud-based devices that are slow. I happen
Mm,
to know that Upticks has a incorrect fix for this table in their branch.
okay, interesting.
Yeah, so it's like it's fine if you've one device, it doesn't really matter. But as that device count increases, you basically get some particularly horrific performance characteristics, and it's sort of worse with join behaviors.
I don't necessarily really know the Linux to review this, so I'd be inclined to like give it a review for looking sane and then trust you guys that it works if we want to go down that path, or maybe one of these guys has more knowledge to give a better review.
We also get to drop the UDEV library.
Ooh,
Yeah,
dropping
yeah.
libraries.
Let me see. I think I can. Let's see. So just a second. My agenda. Okay. Yeah, I think I can have a look at this tomorrow.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Okay, let's see. What other PRs do we have languishing? We have an ADS PR. We had issues with that. Did we circle back? No, I think there's still an unresolved question on 8190. Okay, so I don't think that's going to resolve in the next 2 days. But maybe I'll comment on it again to see if we can kick it forward a little bit. Anything else people want to make sure we call up here? I've got a fairly boring PR open that I revived from the distant past, which apparently is failing CI. Mike has got a couple of other things.
Like there was this memory leak in Unified Log.
I think I approved that one because no, I didn't review that one yet. We should probably look at that one.
Oh yeah.
Like, is this really the only way to
Yeah. That
do
was
that?
my. I mean, to me, it seems like that's a bug in the unified log APIs themselves, and that's a side effect because.
Well, surprise, surprise, Osquery finding bugs in macOS.
But at the same time, I wonder, is it? Yeah, I mean, is it really a leak or like does it keep increasing when the amount of logs retrieved stays the same? Because maybe it's some sort of internal cache. Although it's still weird that it goes away when you loop every log. But yeah.
And I think I could easily believe that it's holding a pointer there. It's holding the enumeration pointer because it's not getting freed. But I don't know is whether I don't know the C++ things. But like, is there a scope guard that would fix this or some kind of auto free?
Well, I'm
Well,
just pulling up the docs for this OS log enumerator and trying to see if there's like some sort of free function that can be called.
yeah. I mean, it's either that or on they have to be through an auto release pool, but I didn't see.
Yeah, I mean, does the enumerator, like, is it really that the enumerator itself needs to be released and it's not currently being released? I've also often been a bit confused about when auto release pools are needed in Objective
That's
C++.
the thing. I wonder if we need an auto release pool.
Because it does seem possible that like iterating through the enumerator is really just like masking that the the enumerator itself isn't being released.
Comment on the PR, ask if it needs an auto release pool or something.
Entries enumerator. Um,
Just see. Oh yeah, there's always option.
voice log store, local store.
I mean, it's definitely strange in a sense that maybe there's no close or
I mean, there's no documentation, like there's no indication in the documentation that any sort of like deallocation needs to be called, but I can't remember if they just sort of omit that now because they expect everything to be using like their automated memory management.
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't do that Objective C as C++ enough.
Oh, there is an auto release pool here. I just noticed. It's or there's definitely appears somewhere in here. It's hard to read it on GitHub and tell if it's
Oh, it's way
covers
up.
that
Yeah.
line. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the auto release pool does cover that line. copy. Yeah, so by my reading of these things, like Objective C does horrible things, or at least Apple's use of it does horrible things, like you're supposed to look at the name of the method, and if it starts with alloc, new copy, or mutable copy, then you are responsible for deallocating it. But the related methods that are being called in this code don't seem to have those names. So I wouldn't be terribly surprised to find that it is actually just a bug. I also can't see any indication that there's anything that can be done to like manually clear this enumeration. So I'm inclined to approve this. I can drop my approval on there.
Yeah. Do we? So if we get out of here, it loses all the strong references. The question is, if is the auto release pool covering? I mean, it is covering that part, but it doesn't. Like it terminates before returning, but okay, the scope of those variables should go out. So yeah, never mind.
Okay, I've dropped my approval on it with my reasoning.
Cool. Well, it's another one down. I'm a little bit amused that we have at least 2 conversations today that boil down to, man, it's hard to tell when EOS requires us to free things.
Across 2 different OSs.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've got any other things lurking. It's a little hard to tell until we merge some. So
did you, for your CPU info PR, did you kick off the CI again? Because the failure that I see is on Linux, which you did not touch.
yeah, I kicked CI again. It looks like I might need to kick it once more. I don't feel super strongly about that PR. I just kind of found it in the distant past and thought I would resubmit it to clean out
Got it.
Old PRs.
Oh. Okay, well, where it's failing on Linux is definitely on a changed line, though.
We can kick this one forward. It's not.
Okay.
I just went cleaning up old tickets sometimes and found this, so I might try and see what's going on and get it to work. Or, I might find other things to do with my time.
Oh, there's a missing comma.
Oh, that's easy. I'll fix it.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, there's an extra. I see the missing comma now.
I mean,
I committed the fix. There was a Python syntax error when it was trying to build the schema because of the missing comma.
Yep. Thank you, Zach.
Yep.
We have any security things we want to review? Any other PRs people want to throw out?
I mean, I wonder if you want to have a quick look on the old ones to maybe decide to close some, or
I went through and closed some. Both PRs and whatchamacallits.
So
let's see. Okay, well, I'm going to close an old PR from me that was about build process stuff. Let's see. Okay, that one I know I can close. Man, sometimes this UI is not what I want. Okay.
I mean, I was looking just randomly at the fix specs to check for platform before including queries.
Which number is that?
And yeah, sorry, 7461.
Ooh, nice old one.
Yeah, which is why, I mean, this seemed, yeah.
Oh, this is fine with me. I mean, this is like in test code anyway. And I see the person answered the question that Seth had back in 2022, 2 years ago.
I think though this, let me double check, because we do use some functions. Oh, I see. Okay, no, it's only used by the profile script, correct?
I have no memory of this PR. I mean, should we just accept it and merge it because it looks fine and it's in the test utils?
Totally fine with me. There's also these Dependabot PRs about Jinja minor version update.
That's, I mean, it's nothing honestly that can affect, but yeah.
Oh, we can't merge 7461 because I'm not sure that's on the CLA.
Oh, and it wasn't even checked for the CLA.
Wait, why? Yeah, no, it is. I do see it confirmed.
Which
one?
Yeah.
7461.
I see it.
Just below the, yeah, okay.
Where
just below the description. It's the first comment.
Oh, you're right. That's interesting. But
do you
something
see
weird on the lower status reports?
Yeah, I'm gonna close and reopen to see if we can just kick those jobs off again.
Oh no, I see. Yeah, it's that jobs do expire after. Yeah, it has to be kicked again. They do expire. and likely it has to be rebased on latest master. We can do that by push forcing on the branch they created, because I already see that the read the docs job has failed, and there have been a couple of issues with read the docs.
I mean, it doesn't even
Rather
look
than-
like.
Rather than doing all that, should we just merge it?
I'm probably willing to merge
Oh,
it if
you want to go,
if GitHub will let us once these things run. It's not even running the full CI. It's so old. It doesn't
Oh,
have the
GitHub
workflows.
won't let us because the checks aren't done.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay.
I mean, I think someone, probably you lot, can force it to.
I don't remember
Sorry,
how that's
okay.
configured. I may have
Hmm.
it configured so we cannot merge over failures. And I
Even
probably
if
don't
you're
want to
not
relax
okay.
that just to merge this PR.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone needs to basically
Okay, let me
check
do
this
the.
out, merge master, and then push it. Is that right?
Or the other thing we could
Okay.
do is just apply it as a clean diff on a new PR and co-author this person.
Yeah.
That's what I did
Right.
for that other one. Because it's a small enough diff, it doesn't. I feel like just regenerating isn't terrible.
No, it's not. But then the person, it doesn't show up like as them as the committed, which I think is nice.
I agree,
Yeah.
but I'm like, is it better? Actually, co-authored might show up because co-authored is a GitHub thing, so I think it shows up in the GitHub things, but not in the Git log. But we'll see.
Let me try.
I can
maybe.
Yeah, I was just gonna do that. Stefan, are you gonna do that? Okay. All right. Yeah, you got it then. Yeah, it's not hard to just add someone's origin and check out the branch, do a merge, push it back up, then they get to it
Only if you're
keeps
allowed to
everything
push
in the
their
same PR.
origin.
Which usually you are.
Okay. I don't think I have any opinion on Dependabart PRs. It's probably safe for Dependabot to go monkeying our Python dependencies, but I don't think it knows enough to touch the C ones.
Yeah, for sure. Though, but CI passed on those. If CI passed, I think it's good. The Jinja in the docs directory seems fine. Jinja if I remember, Jinja is a Python templating language. And I wouldn't be surprised if we use it to do some code generation or something.
The specs files, yes.
For the specs?
Yes.
So, but it is a minor version. But the CI did not succeed. So let's see if we can get it to rerun.
I think if you manage to get it to work, feel free to merge it. I think it's pretty
Sounds
low
good.
risk if CI passes.
I think the docs one, I'd feel completely comfortable. Oh, does it start EC2 runners? Oh, well, I'll just close and reopen. We'll see if it works.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like there's a whole little handful of things we're all now trying to merge, and it'll be great. We'll have fewer PRs.
Yeah, cool.
Stefano, you've got some. So the current oldest PRs, there's one about overwriting user agent on the curl table, which I think came in from Apple, which apparently we've ignored for 3 years, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Stefano, you've got a couple of pretty old ones that I don't know if there things you're still paying attention to, or if they're should just get closed out?
So I'm a bit thought because, well, partially one is, I mean, it's not a huge improvement, and actually I always forgot to answer Mike that correctly. Well, was asking why or if we could use a different kind of parsing instead of like manually checking the format of audit events using instead of using that using regex. But yeah, the issue with regex is that they are pretty slow. So with the amount of events that audit already handles, and it's already has problems like in the case of process file events, I think that kind of slowdown is not ideal.
One
at the
might
same-
also need a rebase.
Sorry.
This might need a rebase.
Oh yeah, I mean this one definitely too. Yeah. And yeah, I have no issue on rebasing. Also, I'm looking into rebasing the other one from that other contributor. Otherwise, I mean, to be fair, a couple of those improvements, the performance improvement, they are not major, and also the correctness of the parsing. Yeah, it will be ideal, but again, it will be like the case where that format is not correct as we expect is that somehow someone has access to the kernel, or the kernel has a bug and sends us data that is wrongly formatted. So yeah, it's a bit corner case. One that maybe actually I want to, and I have to look into it again, because I know it was blocked on this. It's 7454. Mostly there actually it's that I made a couple of changes on how we declare our fuzzing harnesses, and I actually have a couple of other harnesses that I haven't opened a PR for that I wanted to add to our set, but yeah, if we don't have the changes in the CMake, it's not possible. So I'm mostly interested in the changes in the CMake there. No, okay, sorry. I was also thinking out loud. I think let's just close both. I have the code for both anyway.
Feel free to close them and
Yeah.
reopen as you desire.
Yep. Yeah, the one of the harnesses I wanted to add was the one for the Firefox add-ons JSON parsing. But to be fair, I also was looking into writing like the fuzzer. You can just write the dump fuzzer that gives you the JSON, but then most of the time the fuzzer will be occupied by trying to generate correct JSON. So I wanted to first have some logic to create correct JSON and then let it go fuzz and create correct JSON. Yeah, but it did hit pretty soon the original bug that we fixed. So I think that's valuable for those other also tables we have that touches files and parse them. Yeah.
Okay. Stefan, I have a question for you. Looking at PRs.
Yep.
PR 8067.
8067. Okay.
You didn't like this PR, which is fine. But what I'm wondering is if 8254 fixed the same bug.
That is an already merged one?
Yes. So I'm wondering if 8067 still needs to exist.
Wait, 8250. Sorry, can you repeat the merged one? I cannot find it now. 8260.
I'm wondering. So I'm
Because
looking
one
at
is just a message.
right that PR, which you didn't like, which is okay. Oh, you're right. This is an issue.
I mean,
why is
yeah,
this?
I didn't like as it was. Like, I think there's probably something to fix there. Just that there is a bit of nuance.
Okay, I'll just ignore this problem then. We'll just not think about this for this milestone. Okay, goodbye. It's in 513 now. Okay, great. Anyone want to talk about anything else?
Let's try to tag this release by Friday.
Sorry, what?
Let's try to tag this release by Friday.
Seems reasonable. I think we should just. You've got to update the battery table, and I'll review it. You'll take a gander at a bunch of the recent PRs that have come in. I think I've approved them all. They all look okay to me. But if you want to just eyeball them as a second set of eyes, and we'll get it out the door as soon as all that merges. So I think we can probably hit Friday.
Cool.
So awesome. Thank you all. Thank you for your time and your efforts. And yeah, we'll get another release out.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.